Maxon from Small Cuts again. Now that the columns are nice and dry, we will be painting them using this ordinary indoor latex paint. This is called latte, but I've never had a latte that was this yellow, but it's an okay color for sandstone, I guess. So let's start slapping on the paint. Latex paints work really well with plaster, and there is no need to prime the casting before painting. As a bonus, latex paints are really cheap and available at your local hardware store. You can get them mixed in almost any color, but the downside is that you usually have to buy at least a quart, which will last forever in this use. That's why I bought these sampler pots. They are already pre-mixed, so I can't get my color choice, but they are really cheap, and even this small amount lasts very long for models this size. As an advanced technique, latex paints can be used to create texture. If you leave the paint thick straight from the pot, you can stipple the surface and create texture with your brush. But that's not what we want here, so we are adding a slight bit of water to thin down the paint and avoid brush marks on the columns. That the paint is dry, we will be using this ink to wash the models and create some depth. This is an ink I bought from an art store. It's actually intended for real ink pens, but it's cheap and really useful for this use. However, it is way too dark, so we need to water it down first. I'm using an old syringe that I got with some cough syrup, I believe, to take some ink from the bottle and put it on these handy blister packs again. And then I will just add water until the mix is good. Oh, how thick it should be. Well, there's really no other way than to experiment. Sometimes I paint a little dab on my thumbnail, and if I can see the nail through the wash, then it's usually okay. But here we are testing it on the actual column, and it's still too dark, so we are adding more water. Keep in mind to keep the brush relatively clean, and let's try again. Looking better, so let's start applying the wash. One thing to keep in mind is try not to stir the ink too much. It can start to bubble, and when drying, those bubbles can leave ugly marks. If you feel the ink is still too dark, you can load your brush with water and dilute the ink directly on the model. However, try to avoid leaving puddles because they will not look good when they dry up. Now that the wash is dry, we will dry brush the columns to bring back the lighter color. We'll take the original latte color that we used for the base paint, and then we will add some of this gray color to create a dusty effect. They are supposed to be ruined columns after all. Just add the colors to a mixing bowl and mix. Then we just apply a heavy dry brush to the columns. I'm assuming you know how to dry brush, but since these are all single color models and we are talking about a heavy dry brush, don't be shy with the brush. Just you are looking to almost completely restore the original color. The brush does not need to be super dry for this, but try to use a light touch. But if you mess up, it's not all lost. You can take a paper towel and wipe off the paint that you just applied. It'll usually come out just fine. Let's take a look at the finished product. You could add some more detailing to these, but I think these are going to be fine for now. Thanks for watching, and until next time,